tell you that I love you.
Hey beautiful, welcome to Dr. Sarah's Café. This is going to be an oracle and tarot message for the upcoming Uranus Retrograde transit, which is happening on September 1st is when it starts, and it will last for 5 months all the way through January 30th, 2025. So if you are discovering this after Uranus has already gone retrograde, don't worry, you still have plenty of time for this message to apply. And even if you stumble upon this when Uranus retrogrades at some point in the future, there are still some things that you might be able to take from this, because Uranus will retrograde several times within your lifetime. I want to start with some basic information about this upcoming retrograde based on the astrology of it. And so, as I mentioned, it starts September 1st, will last for 5 months through January 30th, and it's happening in the sign of Taurus, specifically at the late degrees of Taurus. And so when a planet is at the later degrees of a sign, that means it's starting to wrap up the lessons and wrap up the gifts and the process that it is trying to help us as a collective and individually go through in terms of the lessons of that sign. And so Taurus is a fixed earth sign, and Uranus is the planet of traditionally rules Aquarius, and so it speaks to the future, it speaks to technology, it speaks to electricity and insight and genius. I think of Uranus as being like the Einstein almost, right? Where you might have some interesting inventions and new technology or new developments in medicine, right? And so it is that sort of genius, forward, avant-garde energy. Uranus is also a planet that speaks to surprises and shocks. And so it's a planet that, even though it's far away and it has more of a social, societal, cross-intergenerational impact, it is still showing up in our lives in ways that might present breakdowns, but also breakthroughs and an opportunity to break free of something. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that with retrogrades, and anytime a planet goes retrograde, we can always apply the words that begin with the prefix re. So rewinding, planets literally look like they're rewinding in the sky, right? And so what are some reasons to rewind something? Maybe you missed something that was important, and so you rewind and go back to see what you might have missed and pick it up and move forward. You can also retrograde or rewind to reflect, to maybe you didn't miss it, but you want to spend more time reflecting on it and reconsidering something. Like, let me go back to that point in my life or that point in my day and say, what was the real lesson there? Or we can also think of retrogrades as a time to revise something. So, when Mercury goes retrograde, a lot of times we revise our writing or we revise our communication. Uranus, I'm thinking, is going to be an opportunity to revise our understanding about something and revise our perspective or our view of the future. And I want to share some of the tarot cards that are closely associated with Uranus energy. One card in particular is the Fool card. So here's one of the traditional depictions of the Fool card. And as you can see just from the illustration, even if you don't know tarot or are not familiar with tarot, it is that sense of freedom. It is that sense of beginning or embarking on a new adventure, right? With the Fool, it is the number 0. And so it's very much future oriented and saying, hey, there is so much more up ahead. And it almost wipes the slate clean. It almost like necessitates a clean, fresh start or a blank slate. I mentioned Uranus in a previous video I did about changes, pivots, starting fresh or a transition in your life. And I mentioned in that video how when Uranus transited through my career and public status house, I had this complete upheaval, this complete surprising, shakeup in my career and public life. And so embarking on something new. Another tarot card that I think speaks to Uranus energy, but it's not officially linked to Uranus, is the Tower card. And so this is again that revelation energy. The Tower often speaks to revelations, truths coming out, epiphanies coming out, and that's going to be very pertinent and relevant when I get to the oracle cards that I pulled in preparation for this reading. And then the other card is the Star card. I pulled the Star card not because it officially represents Uranus, but because it officially represents Aquarius. And Uranus is one of the planets that rules the sign of Aquarius. Okay. And the star card, again, is about the future. It is about that future hope for the future, a vision for the future, inklings and hints and insights into what's up ahead for us, and being able to align our vibration to the future vision that we see and desire for ourselves. Okay. So that's not the official tarot reading. I just wanted to pull those cards to elaborate more on what Uranus energy is and kind of, help us get into the theme and the vibe of this Uranus retrograde reading. Okay. I'm going to put aside my notes and I'm going to share the oracle card that I pulled, which is a tall tale. A tall tale. It's from the energy of the 7 oracles, or the oracle of the 7 energies, rather. It is the number 35, which adds up to an 8. And you see this Pinocchio figure here. There's a Pinocchio figure there on the card. And so it is about deception. It is about untruths. It is about lies. It's about a need to tell the truth. It's about a need to not lie to ourselves. It's a need or a call to be honest and open and transparent. Okay. I'm going to read from the guidebook here because I think the reflection is just very important. And so I want you to get the full message here. Key concepts: denial, concealing the truth so you can manipulate and control a situation; fear-based communication, creating a narrative to hide behind, not allowing the fear of what others will think to influence your words; learning to communicate from a place of authenticity. Okay. And so what these key concepts are suggesting to us is that, the reason people lie or hide themselves or deny some truth is because we fear the consequences of the truth. We fear our own self-judgment, but we also fear, okay, what are other people going to think of me if I tell them what I really think? What are other people going to feel about me if I tell them how I really believe, or the truth about me, or what I really like, what I really dislike? And so needing to release that fear, because that sense of control, thinking that if we lie in that situation, that we can then control and manipulate the situation. We can get people to like us, control or manipulate how they perceive us and how they feel about us if we put on a falsehood, or if we are less authentic, or if we conceal part of the truth. And so we need to release the control, release that need or feeling like we have to manipulate the situation or manipulate other people's feelings and thoughts about us. And by pretzeling ourselves or twisting or reshaping our identity in something that's not authentic. So releasing the control of that and realizing that people are going to feel and think whatever they feel and think, even if you lie, even if you dress it up, even if you wear the mask, even if you hide your truth. There are still going to be people that don't like us. There are still going to be people who don't appreciate us, who don't respect us, no matter how hard we try, no matter how much we think we're aligned to the social scripts, no matter how much we think we're doing it quote unquote right, no matter how good we think we look. Somebody's not going to like it. Somebody's going to be unkind, be disrespectful, not treat us the way we're trying to manipulate them into treating us, right? And that could be professionally. We can straighten our hair, bleach our skin, wear the 3-piece suit, hide our tattoos, code switch, all we want. And they might still fire us. They might still hire us. Not hire us. They might still choose the other job candidate over us, no matter how much we try to manipulate their perception of us by hiding our authentic self. It could happen in friendships, in social circles. We want to attract those friends. We want to be accepted into that society, into that social group, or that, level of that network. And we get into that space having done all of the quote unquote right things, and we still get rejected. People still don't want us there. People still ignore us or don't want to talk to us, despite us doing our best to manipulate our presentation and how we show up in that space. And then, of course, romantically, you know what I'm saying? We do all the things. We dress it up. We put on the perfume. We say things, we don't say things, we don't behave in certain ways because we think it's going to turn the other person off. We think, oh, I've been told so many times, you're never going to get a man doing XYZ, or you're not going to get a man unless you start doing XYZ. And we do all the things. We fall in line. We put ourselves into those boxes, and guess what? They still leave us. They still, don't reciprocate our feelings. They still don't ask us out. They still ask us out, but then treat us like crap. Like, we can't lie our way into an ideal situation. We can't manipulate who we really are, hide it, put the mask on in order to have the perfect ideal outcome that we're trying to have. And I think this Uranus retrograde is, because it is a planet that asks for authenticity. Remember, ruling the sign of Aquarius, what we know about Aquarius energy, and Uranus being part of that energy is saying, no, your truth is your power. Your truth is your power. Your truth is your power. Your authenticity, your uniqueness, your radical uniqueness is your superpower. It is what lights you up. It is what shines forth from you, from within you, and impacts and brightens the space, the community, the relationships, the connections, the work around you and that you are a part of. And Uranus retrograde is giving us an opportunity to go back, rewind, and say, where have I been lying? Where have I been hiding my truth? Where have I been inauthentic? And how can I get back to the truth? Rewinding. Let me get back to that moment when I decided or thought it would be a good idea to bury this very important part of myself in order to control someone else's perception of me, in order to people please, in order to fit in. And they say that fitting in is actually overrated. What you really want is belonging. And you can't have true belonging unless you are allowed to be yourself, unless you're allowed to be your authentic self. If you fit in but have to lie about who you really are, then you don't actually belong. Okay? I want to read more from this. And it says, you or someone else is telling a tall tale right now. You always know if a falsehood is spoken because it doesn't feel grounded. When you lie, you get high on an illusory sense of power that is doomed to fail at some point. You feel driven by the fear of exposure, but something makes you stick to your story, even though you know it has no substance. Whatever lie we are caught up in isn't as important as the motive for it. I want to pause here and elaborate a little bit, because as I was saying, the motive for lying is because we think we can control the other person's perception or reception of us. Oh, well, if I lie, then they will ask me out on a date. If I don't tell the truth, then I'll get the job. If I lie, then I'll keep the peace in my family. So what are we afraid of, right? What's the fear? The thing that we are afraid of losing, the thing that we're afraid will happen if we tell the truth. And that's what we have to address if we want to be able to get back to our truth. Okay, continuing with the guidebook here, it says, why does anyone lie? Perhaps we don't believe the truth is good enough. And perhaps we don't believe the truth about ourselves is good enough, right? So that's my little insertion there. When the author here says, perhaps we don't feel the truth is good enough. And I'd like to add that a lot of times we lie about ourselves and we hide who we really are because we don't think the truth of who we are is good enough. We don't think our honest, authentic identity is good enough. Okay, back to reading. Or we want to keep doing what we know we shouldn't be doing. There is the lie put forth while in denial, such as hiding an active addiction. In this scenario, we may believe our own lies. The tall tale, the white lie, the stretching of the truth, and the blatant fabrication are all about control. The desire for it, the lack of it, the need to maintain it so we can manipulate our outer world and hide our inner one. Today, ask for the truth. Be willing to pay the price and be okay with the vulnerability your lie is exposing in yourself and others. Transparency is required to get to where you need to go, to be truly empowered, to reveal the strength of what is true and authentic. Any other path leads to a dead end. Remember the saying, the truth will set you free, and get ready to fly unfettered. And so I go back to this card that rules Uranus in the tarot deck. The truth will set you free. How many of us have got into a lie or stepped into a path of untruth, a path of a tall tale, started weaving a tall tale at some point in our life, and that actually became a prison for us. That actually became a ball and chain for us, an entrapment, right? My light went off here. Give me just a second. And this Uranus retrograde going back and saying, hey, let's start again. Let's try that again. Let's reconsider this tall tale that we've been spinning so that we can access our freedom again. And you know, I heard when I was younger, it says, if you tell one lie, you have to keep telling more lies in order to support and cover up the first lie that you told. And so again, like I'm saying, we get caught, like we got caught in that lie, and we found ourselves having to keep lying and keep digging ourselves into a deeper and deeper hole with the untruth, with the inauthenticity, in order to maintain or cover up that initial lie. And so Uranus retrograde, exposing the truth, revealing the truth. And for some of us, I'm wondering if the truth is going to come out on its own and sort of force our hand, or someone else in our life, a partner or even a leader, an authority figure in our lives, where a truth might be exposed. And I'm even thinking about those moments or those instances where things slip, Freudian slips, leakage, body language, incongruencies that start to reveal the cracks in the story, reveal the cracks in the false narrative, right? And even if we think about Pinocchio, there's a tell. We call them tells, right? There are tells. And when you read body language, when you study body language, people have tells. And for Pinocchio, if you know the story, the lore, whenever he would lie, his nose would grow. His nose would get longer and longer. And so this Uranus retrograde, like someone's tell might be revealed. And it could be yours. It could be someone else's in your life, where we think we're getting away with telling this lie. We think we're getting away with this falsehood about who we are, about some situation, or about what we've done or accomplished, or our true authentic desires. And Uranus retrograde might say, you can't hide it. Like the veil has dropped, the veil has been lifted, and people can see it's exposing. And so we need to find the courage to accept, acknowledge, understand, see the truth within ourselves first, so that we avoid those tower moments of other people exposing the truths for us, right? I'm going to pull a few tarot cards. I actually want to use the Hoodoo tarot deck. I was going to use the Gold Liar tarot deck again, but after that long spiel that I had based on the Oracle card, I'm just feeling this Hoodoo tarot deck. So let's see what messages want to come through here. Radical authenticity. Exposing the truth of who we are, accepting, acknowledging, and realizing that our authenticity is our superpower. Okay, any additional messages? Only a few. I feel like we don't really need a whole lot of tarot cards here, because there's like a very clear, succinct message going on. Any additional insights, information we can add to this tall tale here? Okay, we might be done with this one tarot card. It is Dem Bones from the Hoodoo Tarot deck, card number 20, Dem Bones. And I just want to show you the expression on her face. This is how some of us are going to look during Uranus retrograde. We're going to have something exposed. There's a truth, a revelation. This is also another revelation card. Something from the past comes back, and it's like, we had no idea. It's like a revelation. Like, oh my gosh, now I see clearly. Now I see the truth of myself, the truth of my situation, the truth about this other person, the truth about my career, the truth about my life path, the path I've been walking. And the the dim bones is traditionally the judgment card. No, is it judgment? Yeah. Yeah, it is the judgment card in the tarot deck. And what that means is you have this awakening. You have this awakening, and you can never go back to not knowing what you see, what's revealed, the truth. It's like a sliding doors moment, like everything before that moment versus everything after that moment, and nothing will ever be the same again. Like you can never not know now what you know. And so this, for some of us, this will be an awakening and a revelation from within about ourselves, the truth about ourselves. Like, oh my gosh, I had been living in a delusion about this career path. And now I see, like, I can't continue going to work every day knowing that I'm working for, a criminal or whatever the situation might be. And then for others of us, this is going to be these revelations and these shocking moments, right? Those kinds of moments in our lives are the people around us. Some truth is going to come out, and it's needed, right? It's not like Jerry Springer or the tabloids that you used to see. It's not like exposing people to shame them. It's not exposing the truth for the purpose of shame, for the purpose of, mocking someone or laughing at them or, punishing them with the truth. So I want to be very clear about that. What Uranus is trying to do, because the universe, as Nadia Shaw says, is wise and loving. And so when the truth is exposed, it's an opportunity to get into a greater alignment with our truth, with our authentic power, with our greater destiny, with our higher purpose. That's all it's about. It's not about categorizing people into good or bad. You're better, I'm superior, you're inferior. Ha ha ha, look at you, I'm going to laugh at you and bully you or put you in your place or shame you or get your comeuppance. It's an opportunity for everyone involved to get free, to have their own personal breakthrough in their life, to step more fully and boldly onto the path their soul intends to walk in this lifetime. It is breakthrough, breakout, break free moment. And it might be preceded by a breakdown in something, a breakdown, the walls come down and you see the truth. And what also is coming through is that you see the truth of your own power. And for some of you, the hiding, the lie has been that you don't have agency. The lie has been that you are not powerful enough. The lie has been that no one wants me. The lie has been that I'll never find love. The lie has been I can't do it. I'm not capable. All these other types of lies and tall tales and false narratives that we put onto ourselves about our limitations, about what's not possible for us. And some of us might come face to face with this Uranus retrograde about how we have been giving our own power away, how we have made choices and spun these narratives in order to play it safe, quote unquote, or to play small or to hide our true power and our true magnificence and our true gifts and our true skills, and saying, oh, if I shine my light too brightly. And this is the story of African Americans during slavery and Jim Crow and that internalized oppression, that internalized racism, because you could literally be lynched or burned or beaten or brutalized or terrorized or punished in some way for being in the colonizers' eyes, being too brilliant, being too successful, being too amazing, being too stunning, and that is an unfortunate, beyond unfortunate, it is a tragic, oppressive system at play. And so I know for me and my people, a lot of the breakthroughs in the revelations we've had over the past few generations is, oh, this white supremacist delusion is a lie. It's a lie that I'm less beautiful, like waking up to that truth as well. And so it's not just waking up to a truth of oh, this problem that I have, or this flaw that I have, or these mistakes that I made. It's also waking up to the truth of this whole time, society has told me that I'm not good enough, and I've been buying into that, and I've been, clinging to that as my excuse to hide and continue to shrink myself. But I see the truth of how beautiful and powerful and magical and capable, and how, loved by the divine I really am. And that's the revelation, right? I'm shocked and surprised by how much of myself I have missed over these, past years in my life. And waking up to that and knowing that I can never play small again. I can never hide the truth of who I am again because of some patriarchal programming, because of some oppressive religious doctrine or dogma, because of some, racist or ableist or queer phobic narrative that has been imposed on me. I can't continue to operate under those lies. That is what I have for us during this Uranus retrograde video. I think that's going to be a powerful opportunity for all of us. And, I hope that this message has helped you in some way to refill your spiritual cup. And I look forward to seeing your bright lights grow even brighter and brighter, and to see and to feel and sense your magnetism and your vibration, to see your auras all the way across time and space, wherever you are, whenever you are in this world and life, my dears. And I hope to see you in another video. Much love.